Are you ready for the perfect storm brewing in Washington? Because what's happening with our Commanders right now is more than just sports news. It's pure drama that's going to define whether this season becomes a glorious epic or the most painful collapse we've witnessed in years. I have exclusive info that's going to completely change your perspective on the upcoming game against the Raiders. We're talking about an injury that might shatter our playoff dreams, an almost unknown player about to become the hero no one saw coming, and the brutal pressures hitting a rookie who has the weight of the world on their shoulders. But you know what's the craziest part? These three situations are totally interconnected in ways that will surprise even the most seasoned analysts. Each one relies on the others, and the domino effect they might create is absolutely fascinating. If you love this team as much as I do, if you live and breathe burgundy and gold, if your Mondays totally depend on what happens on Sundays, then you need to stay until the end. Because this info is going to be the difference between being a casual fan and someone who truly understands what's at stake. And you know what to do? Family, that subscribe button isn't going to hit itself. And those notifications will ensure you never miss out on analysis like this. Let me be brutally honest with you about Jayden Daniels' situation, because what's happening goes far beyond a simple knee injury. We're looking at a crisis that could redefine our entire season, and most fans aren't really grasping the implications. On Friday, Daniels didn't practice, period, and when Dan Quinn says a quarterback has to practice on Friday to earn the right to play on Sunday, he's not speaking metaphorically. He's setting a non-negotiable standard for medical readiness and preparation. What that means is Marcus Mariota will be our starter against the Raiders, and we need to have a real talk about what that implies. Remember the knee injury Daniels suffered against Green Bay? It wasn't a casual contact. It was one of those injuries that makes you hold your breath when you see it in slow motion. And for a quarterback whose mobility is 60% of their offensive arsenal, a knee injury isn't just an inconvenience. It's a ticking bomb. I've been following this franchise for decades, and let me tell you something. We've seen promising quarterbacks destroy their development by rushing back from injuries. RG3 is the perfect example of what happens when the hurry to return becomes a long-term nightmare. But do you know what worries me most about this situation? It's not just losing Daniels for a week. It's the absolutely criminal timing of this injury. We're in week 3, which is traditionally when teams start finding their real identity. It's where the doubts from training camp turn into certainties or existential crises. And now we'll face the Raiders with Marcus Mariota, a 30-year-old veteran who, let's be honest, is in the twilight of their career. Mariota has respectable numbers, 43-40 as a starter, over 16,000 passing yards, 97 touchdowns. But those numbers tell a story of consistent mediocrity, not excellence. Do you know what the most brutal difference is between Daniels and Mariota? The explosive dimension. Daniels can turn a pocket collapse into a 15-yard gain. They can read a defense post-snap and attack the weakness with their legs. Mariota, no matter how experienced, just doesn't have that physical ability anymore. Now, imagine this. We're going to face Max Crosby, who's having one of the best seasons of their career. Crosby lives for those moments where they can hunt down less mobile quarterbacks. With Daniels, Crosby had to respect the scramble possibility. With Mariota, they can be more aggressive in their rush patterns. And here's the part that really makes me nervous. Our offensive line. They've been inconsistent in the first 2 weeks, and now they have to protect a quarterback who needs more time in the pocket because they can't escape like Daniels. It's a disaster recipe if they don't completely adjust their mindset. But you know what? There's also an opportunity here that many aren't seeing. Mariota has something that Daniels is still developing: experience in pressure situations. They've played 93 games in their career, faced all kinds of defenses, been in playoff games. That experience can be invaluable in a game where we're going to need composure under pressure. Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to completely reinvent the game plan. They can't call the same plays they do for Daniels. They'll need more quick slants, more timing routes, more plays designed to get the ball out quickly. And that means our receivers will have to step up significantly. Terry McLaurin is going to be crucial in this scenario. Their ability to create separation in short and mid routes is going to be the difference between successful drives and consecutive 3 and outs. Jahan Dotson needs to become that safety valve Mariota needs when things get tough. And let's talk about the elephant in the room: media and fan pressure. Washington is a city that doesn't forgive mediocrity, especially at critical times. If Mariota struggles early in the game, FedEx Field could turn into a toxic environment that makes everything harder. I believe this is the moment where we see the true character of this roster. How they respond to this adversity will define not just this game, but potentially the entire season. Do they have the next man up mentality, or will they crumble at the first real crisis? Now let me tell you about the player who's going to be the talk of the town after this Sunday, but absolutely no one has on their radar right now: Quan Martin. And when I say no one, I mean neither the national analysts nor most of our own fans really understand what this safety can do. Doc, do you know Martin's story? Because it's fascinating. Selected in the second round of the 2023 draft from Illinois, they arrived with a reputation for being a ball hawk and positional versatility that immediately caught the attention of Ron Rivera and their staff. But like with many rookies, their first year was about acclimatization and situational snaps. Now, in their second year under Joe Witt Jr., Martin has evolved into something special. And with Jonathan Jones out due to injury and Dietrich Wise Jr. lost for the entire season, this is their moment to make the breakout performance that establishes them as a star in this league. But do you know why I'm so convinced Martin will be the difference maker this Sunday? Because I've been studying their tape, and what I see is a player who's completely eliminated hesitation from their game. In their rookie year, you could see those microseconds of doubt. Now they're playing with pure instinct. Their positional versatility is absolutely mind-blowing. They can line up as a free safety, strong safety, slot corner, or even as a linebacker in certain packages. Do you know what that means for Witt from a game planning perspective? It means they can create defensive looks that will completely confuse Geno Smith and the Pulley, Raiders offensive coordinator. Imagine this: Martin starts the play lined up as a deep safety. Smith reads the coverage and makes their audible based on what they see pre-snap. But post-snap, Martin rotates down into the box to help against the run. And suddenly Smith is looking at a completely different coverage than they anticipated. And let's talk about their skills as a ball hawk, because this is where Martin truly shines. In Illinois, they were known for their ability to read quarterbacks and anticipate throws. Those skills have been polished and refined in 2 years of NFL coaching. And now they're ready to make those game-changing interceptions that can completely flip momentum. Remember that last year we were 21st in forced takeaways? That's simply unacceptable for any defense aspiring to be elite. Martin has the skill set and mentality to single-handedly improve those numbers. They aren't satisfied with routine tackles. They're hunting the ball on every play. Now, specifically against the Raiders, Martin will face some really interesting matchups. Jacoby Myers is a technical route runner who depends on precision and timing. Brock Bowers is that elite tight end who can stretch defenses vertically and dominate the middle of the field. But you know what? Martin has been preparing for exactly these types of matchups. Their ability to cover ground rapidly means they can help on Myers' deeper routes while simultaneously keeping an eye on Bowers' crossing patterns. It's that rare combination of range and football IQ that separates good safeties from great ones. And let me tell you something that very few are discussing: the mental aspect of Martin's game. In conversations with coaches, they consistently mention their preparation and film study. This is a player who arrives on Mondays already having watched tape of the upcoming opponent. That dedication to preparation directly translates to performance on Sundays. Joe Witt Jr. has been vocal about Martin's progress, specifically their improved communication and leadership in the secondary. For a second-year player, stepping up as a vocal leader is impressive. But Martin has earned that respect through consistent performance and reliability. Do you know what my boldest prediction for this game is? Martin will record multiple tackles for loss, at least one interception, and possibly a forced fumble. I know it sounds crazy, but I've seen enough tape to know they're due for that type of explosive performance. The Raiders' offensive game plan will rely heavily on Ashton Jeanty in the ground game and Bowers on crucial downs. Martin's versatility means they can impact both aspects of the game. They can rotate down to stop running plays and cover Bowers man-to-man in passing situations. And here's the part that really excites me. Martin is playing with house money. There aren't massive expectations on them nationally. They're not feeling the pressure that players like Lattimore face every week. That freedom to play loose and aggressive can result in spectacular plays. Now, let's delve into a situation that has me both excited and genuinely concerned. The skyrocketing expectations being placed on Jayden Bill Croskey-Merritt, and how this pressure cooker situation can either make or break their promising career. Do you understand the magnitude of what's happening here? Croskey-Merritt was a 7th-round pick that very few people expected to be anything more than a camp body. But injuries and circumstances have conspired to put them in a position where they are now essential for our offensive success. Cliff Kingsbury didn't mince words this week when they talked about Croskey-Merritt. Their comments were direct and demanding. Just continue to progress in playing without the ball. I think every time they've touched it, good things happen. It's just, as a young player, there are a lot of things you haven't seen. Whether it's pass protection, leading for somebody else, running the proper route technique, things of that nature. Do you know what those words really mean? Kingsbury is basically saying that Croskey-Merritt has the talent to be special, but needs to develop those fundamental aspects that separate NFL running backs from college players. And this development needs to happen right now, not over multiple seasons. Pass protection is probably the most crucial skill that Croskey-Merritt needs to master immediately. In college football, running backs can get away with average pass protection because the game speed is different and pass rushers aren't as sophisticated. In the NFL, a missed assignment in pass protection can result in your quarterback getting destroyed. And do you know what's the most challenging part of pass protection for rookie running backs? It's not just the physical aspect of blocking larger, stronger players. It's the mental processing required to recognize blitz packages, identify who to pick up, and make split-second decisions under pressure. Now let me explain why the arrival of Chase Edmonds is such a game-changer for Croskey-Merritt's development. Edmonds isn't just another veteran. There's someone who has thrived in Kingsbury's system specifically. During their time in Arizona, Edmonds was productive and reliable, alternating effectively with James Conner. Kingsbury's praise for Edmonds was telling. Chase is one of the most dialed-in players I've been around in Arizona. A couple of really good years with them playing at a high level. So to get a guy like that who knows the system, who's been in it, can still play at a high level, and can continue to help mentor a player like Bill, I think it was a huge addition for us. But here's what really impresses me about this situation. According to reports, one of the first things Edmonds did upon arriving was to seek out Croskey-Merritt and tell them they're available for whatever help they need. That kind of veteran leadership is invaluable for young players. Edmonds understands the nuances of Kingsbury's offense better than almost anyone. They know which routes to run in specific situations, how to set up blocks to maximize effectiveness, and when to check down or when to be aggressive. That institutional knowledge can accelerate Croskey-Merritt's learning curve significantly. But do you know what the double-edged sword in this situation is? With Austin Eckler out for the entire season and Brian Robinson Jr. traded to San Francisco, Croskey-Merritt is suddenly our most promising prospect in the backfield. That pressure can either elevate their performance or completely overwhelm them. Let me break down specifically what Croskey-Merritt needs to improve in each area. Pass protection. They need to learn how to read linebacker alignments pre-snap. recognize when linebackers are showing blitz, and position themselves to deliver effective blocks. This isn't just about being physical. It's about being in the right place at exactly the right time. Route running. As a receiving threat, Croskey-Merritt has natural ability, but their route precision needs work. In the NFL, quarterbacks rely on receivers, including running backs, to be in exact spots at exact times. A route that's off by 2 yards can result in an interception. Lead-in blocks. When they're not carrying the ball, Croskey-Merritt needs to become effective as a lead blocker for other players. This requires understanding angles, timing, and how to create running lanes for teammates, mental processing. Perhaps most importantly, they need to develop faster processing speed for all these responsibilities. In college, they could rely primarily on their athletic ability. In the NFL, mental preparation and quick decision-making are equally important. And here's what makes this situation even more fascinating. Croskey-Merritt clearly has the raw talent to be successful. Kingsbury specifically noted that every time they've touched it, good things happen. That natural playmaking ability can't be taught. Work ethic has been consistently praised by coaches each week. According to Kingsbury, Croskey-Merritt has definitely improved each week, which suggests they're taking the coaching seriously and putting in the effort required for development. But here's my biggest question mark about this whole situation. How will Croskey-Merritt handle the increased workload, specifically in the passing game, if Jayden Daniels can't play? Marcus Mariota's style of play might actually benefit Croskey-Merritt because Mariota tends to utilize running backs more heavily in short passing situations. With Daniels potentially out, Kingsbury might need to lean more heavily on Croskey-Merritt as a safety valve for Mariota. That could accelerate their development in route running and pass protection, but it also significantly increases the pressure. Jeremy McNichols provides additional veteran presence in the backfield, but Croskey-Merritt is clearly being groomed as the future. Their performance over the next weeks could determine whether they become a legitimate long-term solution or remain a developmental project. But what's truly fascinating about this situation? These three storylines are completely intertwined in ways that will create ripple effects throughout our entire game. Plan. With Daniels potentially out, Mariota's going to need reliable check-down options and safety valves. Guess who needs to fill that role? Croskey-Merritt. But for them to be effective in that capacity, they need exactly the skills that Kingsbury has been demanding: better route running, improved pass protection, and faster mental processing. Meanwhile, if our offense struggles without Daniels, the defense, specifically players like Quan Martin, are going to need to create short fields and additional possessions through turnovers and defensive stops. That pressure on the defense to be game changers increases exponentially. And here's where it gets really interesting. If Martin can force turnovers and create favorable field position, it takes pressure off Croskey-Merritt and Mariota to sustain long drives. Conversely, if Croskey-Merritt can be effective as a receiving threat, it opens up play-action opportunities that can help Martin and the defense by keeping them off the field. This interconnected web of dependencies is exactly what makes football so compelling. One player's success directly impacts another's opportunities and challenges. Are you ready for what could be the most defining weekend in recent memory for this franchise? Because everything I've laid out here points to a Sunday that's going to reveal exactly what kind of team we really have. Can Marcus Mariota and Croskey-Merritt develop instant chemistry under pressure? Will Quan Martin seize their opportunity to become the defensive playmaker we desperately need? Can this team rally around adversity, or will they crumble under the weight of expectations? Let me tell you something. This type of analysis, this depth of understanding about how all the pieces fit together, this is what separates real football intelligence from casual observation. And this is exactly the kind of content you're going to find consistently here. While other analysts stay on the surface, talking about basic stats and obvious storylines, we dive deep into the psychology, strategy, and interconnected relationships that really determine outcomes. If you want to be part of a community that truly understands football at this level. If you want access to insights that are going to make you sound like the smartest person in your fantasy league or at your watch party, then that subscribe button is calling your name. Tell me what you think about Mariota's chances of success. Tell me if you believe Martin is ready for their breakout moment. Let me know if you think Croskey-Merritt can handle the pressure that's being placed on them. Because this community is more than just fans. We're a family that lives and breathes burgundy and gold together. And families support each other through uncertainty and adversity, just like what we're facing right now. Hit that subscribe button, activate those notifications, and prepare yourselves for what could be the most revealing Sunday of our entire season. Hail to the Commanders!